What's up to all our sidekicks and henchmen out there in the Geek Nation? My name is Noel, and today we're going to do another one of those half unboxing, half I'm too excited to wait to talk about what's in front of me kind of videos. And today we're going to talk about the War of the Realms Omnibus by Jason Aaron and Russell Dodderman, as well as a host of other writers and artists. This is, before we get started, this is the biggest Marvel Omnibus I've ever had my hands on. It might be the biggest one ever, clocking in at 1,576 pages. We're going to go through all of it, and I'm going to tell you kind of how it's mapped, what the spine looks like. I have the direct market variant cover, which you can get through your local comic shop or pre-ordered. And the other one is the Russell Dodderman one, which is kind of like a ribbon triptych kind of John with maroon up top and bottom, not unlike the spine with the title treatment, which is still really sick. But yeah, before I dig into all of that, if you like what we do here, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll put the links down below, down in here. Also, you could join us on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we do our live podcast. We stream our live podcast where we review comics for the week, talk about pop culture, really just have a good time conversing with friends and loved ones. And then you could jump into the conversation if you're there live with us. But yeah, let's peek at this bad boy. So first thing I did was put a Bro Dart cover on it because I'm that kind of weird. So if you see the shiny or the plasticky feel, I use these for all of my omnibuses and large hardcovers because they are a godsend. They're fantastic. They protect the cover. It's for anybody that doesn't know, Bro Dart covers are kind of like those plastic sleeves that library books will have. They also just look really slick on the shelf. So, like I said, this is the biggest book. Look at that. This is ridiculous. Marvel typically doesn't have omnibuses that are this big, or they go for smaller editions. This is a DC move here, doing like the Blackest Night omnibus that's a gajillion pages, or Infinite Crisis, but this is definitely a little closer to the size of Blackest Night. So you see here the back cover, which is one of the covers for the single issues. I think it was like 5. The Art Adams cover is issue number 6 of the series. And then I think this is 5 or 4. But yeah, we got back here the indicia, and then all the stuff that's contained. If you want to pause it, you could read that, but I am going to open up the book and actually show you the table of contents. If I can. Guys, this is the ridiculously sized book. Let's take a look at the printed cover. I did stretch the spine and open it up already, so don't at me. So what we have here on the printed cover is a map of Midgard, Earth, but each realm's overtaking or faction of areas of Midgard. So, Europe has become New Musselheim. North America is New Jotunheim. Dusklands. It was really cool. It's part of the story where the 9 realms converge on Middle Earth, Midgard, Middle Earth, to take it over. And only Thor, as well as the entirety of the Marvel Universe, are able to stop them. Blah, blah, blah. Either way, this story was great. I read it in issues. I read the main event, as well as the Thor title, which those two titles worked off of each other often, because they were both being written by Jason Aaron at the time, obviously. This whole event is pretty much the culmination of Jason Aaron's run. However, I will tell you, it is accessible even if you hadn't read all that stuff. There's a lot of reference points and stuff, but it's a relatively self-contained story that is better if you have read that stuff. However, it's still very good alone. So let's see here. Let's open this up. Yeah, so I will tell you, when we did our video on Absolute Carnage, which you can go back on the feed and check that out, I was upset by the way that book was mapped. Mapping, of course, being the printing order of all of these single issues and miniseries throughout this whole giant book. That book it wasn't really mapped at all. It was just the 5-issue event, 6 issues of this title, 3 issues of this title. Like, so even if the events of the story were happening in chronological order as you were reading them in issues, or as it was coming out monthly, in the book it was just all plopped in separately. So you'd have to kind of do the extra work to know where things kind of lie chronologically within the story. And I don't love that. I don't love that at all. However, with something this, when we had something this big, I was afraid it was going to be pretty much the exact same thing. And I'm right, but also wrong. So I'll explain. So this book is beautiful. It's huge. Here's the table of contents. You've got Thor 8 through 11, War of Realms, Thor 12 through 6, War Scrolls 1 through 3, Punisher 1 through 3, Omega, which is a wrap-up issue, all of these other tie-ins, which is really great too because they give you all of the creative teams for each tie-in. Even in this War Scrolls, there, which was an anthology book, you've got every single creative team, which is really, really great. I love when they do that. And then even more, there are a lot of tie-in issues for this event. Now, the big question, of course, is how's it mapped in the book? So, good and bad. The great of it all being that the issues that matter are printed chronologically. And by like matter. So Thor 8 through 11. I love Del Mundo's layouts for this book. Anyway, Thor 8 through 11 are the beginning of the book. And then you get issue 1 of War of the Realms. Sorry, 8 through 12. And then issue 1 of War of the Realms. And then the issues of Thor are interspersed in between the issues of War of the Realms because they happen chronologically, or things happen in issues of Thor that directly affect the event. So Marvel was gracious and smart enough to print them in this tome interspersed with each other so you can experience the story as a whole as it goes. With Absolute Carnage, there was a lot of stuff that was happening in the Venom title that affected Absolute Carnage, the event. However, they are printed after the event, so you're reading it almost just like they're little cutscenes, which isn't preferable to me. Maybe some other people really like it, but I didn't like it. So this huge book, I was afraid that they were going to kind of separate everything, but for where it counts, where it matters in the main event, they don't, which is awesome. Now, everything else after that, like every single mini-series and one-shot and tie-in issue after that, is just kind of plopped in here. Which is, I'm okay with, honestly. I'm very okay with, because I almost approach them as extras, DVD extras, cutscenes, little bits and bobs that are fun to just kind of liven up the story or add a richness to it. But when it comes to, the main event, it's kind of all there together in its completed form, which was really great. Now, the eye on this book is fantastic. It's sewn binding, really lots of space, leads to minimal gutter loss even in the middle of the book. So in between in between every issue and miniseries, they have cover galleries. If they had included cover galleries for every single one of these, or a full page for every single one of these, then this book would have been an extra 100 pages. So, yeah, I'm glad they went that route. But yeah, this is a wonderful edition. It reads very, very well. The paper quality is also very great. The paper stock, it's a glossy finish, obviously, but the paper stock isn't very thin. It's well done. Which, again, with a book this big, I was afraid that they were going to make it as thin paper as possible, so it's not as huge. However, they didn't go that route. But yeah, I would highly recommend this tome. This is a great story. It's a great book. Excellent binding. I, of course, love the DM variant cover. That's why I went with it. It's beautiful Art Adams work. But yeah, retails at $125. 1,576 pages. If I haven't said that enough, I think I just kind of keep repeating 1,576 pages because it seems like a massive amount, and it really, really is. Just kind of like remind myself that's real. yeah, this event was fantastic. It was super, super fun. As soon as they announced this book, I was very, very excited to have it all in one piece because I feel like maybe they didn't, or maybe it's just in my bubble, but I feel like people slept on this. They weren't talking about it as much, and it's a really, 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 really great event. This is really fun. I'd highly recommend people read this. But either way, I will leave it there. Be sure to like and subscribe like we had mentioned before. Join us on Sunday mornings at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk about and review the week's comics as well as pop culture news. Join the conversation. We'll be live streaming and recording for later. And then also we'll do some Thunder Rounds during the course of this week to talk about some single issues that came in and out. There's a lot of really, really good books that come out this week, so we're going to try and talk about as many of them as possible. But yeah, thank you. Comment below. Agree with me, disagree with me. Any other people out there that are obsessed with large books, let me know. But yeah, I will talk at you guys later. Thank you so much for spending the last 10 minutes with me. Bye.
Cold Pop!